Welcome, my name is Jason Tiedick and I help leaders gain respect and really become true leaders with their staff, their employees, and all the people in their lives. A lot of people look in the mirror and they see this part of them that they don't want to see, all this anxiety, all this frustration. They want to change this. What I'm going to show you is on page 18, the difference between anxiety and frustration. Highlight this. Anxiety is the feeling or thought of desperation or helplessness about a situation. That's anxiety. Frustration is the feeling or thought of being at war with reality. This is a huge shift right off the bat. If you're at war with a reality, that's why you're frustrated. There's 3 ways to track what you feel obligated to do. Now look what it says here. When you track things you feel you have to do in your life, you've identified your what? Frustrations. Don't miss this. If I say to myself, you know, I have to go to the grocery store today. Boom. That's a frustration of mine. Anytime you have to, these are the 3 things you could write. I have to do this, I should do this, or I must do this. Those are the 3 things you can write in the box. Number 1 is I have to do this. Number 2 is I should do this. Number 3 is I must do this. If you find yourself saying that at any given point, you've just discovered a frustration. While this wasn't surprising to me, there was something that was surprising. And this is something I would highlight as well. Other people can't give you your self-esteem. Isn't that interesting? You have to get it solely from yourself. They can help you, but it's not theirs to give to you. They don't own your self-esteem. You do. They can nurture it, but they can't give it to you. So the best way for you to get self-esteem is to give it to others. And what's wonderful about self-esteem is that then as a leader, you can then give this and nurture this to others so that they want to be around you, and that builds respect. You measure your self-esteem right now, this is huge, by counting up how many growth opportunities you have in your path right now that you've never done, but you have the ability to do. Every time you go do a growth opportunity that you've never done, but you have the ability to do, guess what happens to self-esteem? It goes up. When you go out and do them, you're the only one who can do it. You're the only one. Isn't it hard for leaders who like to talk to learn this? Raise your hand if you like to talk, because I like to talk. It's very hard for leaders to learn. It's hard for me to do this. We can tell you all day long it's important to learn from people why they want to follow you. The reality is that most people love to talk and hear themselves talk. They love it. Instead of asking the person why he'd want to follow, many leaders tell the other person why they should follow them. I'll tell you why you should follow me, they say. There's 2 questions to ask before you start listening. Here we go. We're going to rule the room this. Whenever people say, what do you mean by rule the room this? I mean, I'm going to give you the practical steps you need to do tomorrow to get this right. And when you start listening to somebody, there's 2 questions you need to ask right away. You need to find something that makes you smile. One of my favorite ways to do this is in step 5, listen fors. Look what it says. Use listen fors to ask another question. This is what it sounds like, does it? Look at page 69. See here it says, well, it sounds like working efficiently is really important to you. That's really a question. So if I say to Craig, well, it sounds like getting everything done before you go on vacation would really help you have some peace of mind before you head off with Sherry. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just vacation. Just want to spend some time with the family and just going to clear my mind with all the work. So, it's
Did you notice what he just did? I just said, is that right? And what did he do? He talked another 30 seconds. So that's the question. If you want to just write it there, after it sounds like ... write down, is that right? That's the actual question. And if he doesn't respond much, write down next to that one, tell me more about that. The answer 99.9999% of the time is you're not going to die if you stay out of other people's business. That's what this means, to detach yourself from the end result. Staying out of other people's business. Cutting the rope between you and their problems. Doesn't mean you don't care about them, but you're cutting the rope. Now here's the thing. Look in the same box. Your brain doesn't know this. Your brain thinks you're going to die. Others think if they detach, then you're going to be in tremendous pain. So here's the thing. There's 3 ways to do this. Here they are. You can write them in the box. The first one is to get assertive expectations. Is to set assertive expectations and get them from others. Set assertive expectations and get them. And by the way, what's the difference? The second one is to set assertive boundaries. And the third is to enforce your expectations and boundaries. This is a very simple recipe, but it's very hard to put into place. I'm going to make it easy today. In the next paragraph, as a result of this, you're going to build a client base. If you serve, if you transcend this stuff, you're going to build a client base, a management team, a staff, a family, or a group of friends filled with people that don't feel sold, but they feel served. What's really interesting about this is people may never remember about what you said. They're always going to remember how you made them feel. You can highlight that with me. It's the 3rd paragraph on page 104. People don't remember necessarily what you said. They remember how you made them feel. This is huge when it comes to meetings one-on-one with you and your team members. I'm going to give you, and I really want you to think about this, because I can tell you right now, you ever heard the David and Goliath story? Your Goliath right now is pushing back on this. Your Goliath is this big thing that does not want to budge on any change in your life. And your David's like, let's do something, let's do a change. Your Goliath's like, no. Well, we're going to work the David for a little bit here. Take 5 minutes and go through every single, except for the Excel spreadsheet, every single one of these questions. I want you to map it all out. I want to know how much money you're going to save, how much money you're going to have to pay, how much time you're going to save, how much time you're going to have to pay. I want you to add 20% to it. I want you to summarize all that stuff. And then I want you to overestimate it. And then if you have time, turn to the person next to you and say, hey, here's the data I just came up with. What do you think about this? You think it's a good decision or bad? But here's the reality. You can write this down if you want to on 127. The only person that can and should be making this decision is you. Gaining respect, though, is difficult for many people, for many leaders. Some even think that the work has to be difficult if you're going to be successful. This program is going to make it easy for you.